This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same-day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram @LoneWolfPB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community. This episode of PTG is brought to you by HK Army and all of my paintball teams out there. It is time to take your game to the next level. Get laced up for the 2025 season with the HK Army sponsorship package, your ultimate gateway to custom gear, elite equipment, and unparalleled exposure. Stand out on the field with custom designed jerseys and gear featuring your team's branding alongside the iconic HK Army logo. Your team's style with our innovation. Boost your brand's exposure and get featured across HK Army's massive social platforms, reaching millions of fans worldwide. Be a part of the conversation in the paintball community with HK Army. Get access to the elite gear, high-performance markers, cutting-edge protection, paintballs, and the latest technology to help your team dominate the competition. Join a vibrant community of top-tier teams and players. Connect, share experiences, and participate in exclusive HK Army events. This is more than a sponsorship. It is truly a family. Don't wait. Sign up your team right now at hkarmy.com/sponsorship and gear up for the 2025 paintball season. HK Army, lace up, stand out, dominate. Go to hkarmy.com/sponsorship to get your team signed up right now.
What's going on, PTG Nation? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This episode, we have none other than YAYA Bouchez on the show to celebrate his retirement from professional paintball, but he is still heavily involved in the game and an icon in the sport. This was a great conversation. So without further ado, we are going to hop in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon. Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
Paintball world, welcome back. PTG show. We're live. We got one of the realest, the illest ever to do it. And today we are celebrating a true warrior of the game, man who gave everything he had to the sport, left it all on the field, built a legacy that will be remembered forever. And he has been a relentless competitor, a fierce leader, and the heart and soul of every team he has played for. From clutch performances to championship moments, inspiring the next generation, setting the standard for grit and determination. We got YAYA Bouchez on the show, and we are excited to have you here, bro. So
I'm excited to be here, guys.
Ooh, let's go, brother.
Yeah,
let's go.
I had to write that one out a little bit because you mean the world to me. I'm not gonna lie, dude. You're one of my best friends in the world. You've helped me a lot in life, and just forever grateful for you. And not only that, but everything that you've done for paintball and so many people's lives out there. I know if you ask countless people around the world about YAYA Bouchez, they're going to say the same thing. So thank you for everything, Yaya, and for joining us here, bro.
Hey, thank you guys. You gave me goosebumps, just so you know.
Dude,
I appreciate
let's go,
that.
baby.
I love that, dude. I got some goosebumps right now, but it's because it's freezing over here in San Diego.
You didn't feel your speech like I did, but I felt it. Thank you. No. I mean, that's the biggest thing is, like you said, just trying to be real with people. Like, I never had a reason to bullshit them. And, if, however the cards fall, and at the end of the day, if I can put my head down and go to sleep at night and not have to worry about things, and, and knowing that I did something good for somebody, then I was okay with it. So,
well, this episode is all about giving you your flowers. We're going to go through your career. You recently just retired. Broke my heart. Can't believe I'm not going to be seeing you on the field running around like a madman, screaming in people's faces. But it's been an honor to not only play alongside you, but watch your career. And you're the fastest point in the world.
Yeah. As long as we keep putting bunkers in the middle, nobody will break my record. I'll tell you that. So, because you need a straight shot box to box. So, I'm not saying Keith Brown and Alex Goldman can't do it, or even one of you guys, but I'll tell you what.
That was a quick one.
So.
That was a quick one. Well, with some of the new formats we tested this weekend, there might be a new fastest point record breaker, but I don't know what wasn't your 7 seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's literally sprinting from basically start station to start.
And the craziest part is when Todd was writing up the play, Tyler's like, just send Yaya to do it.
Yeah.
He's like, he'll get them all.
He'll get them all.
He set me right down the middle.
Actually, I think
I get waxed.
I think I sat myself that point. And
yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
I was like,
no, put him in to do this.
Yeah.
So.
And then there he goes. There that boy goes, eating them up. Damn, bro.
I actually haven't seen that in a little while. And then once I announced that I was going to be done playing, like the Heat page actually put it up. And then I realized how slow everybody was. And I was like, why did I retire? These guys are slow as shit. So, no.
Is that Ronnie? Ronnie running the Heat page?
I'm not sure. No, I think it's Hal, maybe. I'm not sure. I know Hal said he wanted to get more involved with helping the team. And, the team obviously with some of the two biggest guys stepping away from, the team, they need to pick up the social media. So,
yeah, well, whoever's doing that is doing a great job. So keep it up.
And I think honestly, like, when I did decide to like, step away, I talked to Ronnie a lot. And I talked to him right before I came on here. And I was like, Ronnie, like, you need to be the guy because like you're not selfish, like he's a great teammate. He works hard, like he leads a lot, like, and especially with the new guys in Chicago, right? Like they've all looked up to him for a long time. Like he's put his work in, and I couldn't be like I couldn't be happier for him than just handing off the hand and be like, hey, whatever you need help with, like let me know, and then I'll tell you how to talk to this guy or that guy or anything else, because it's about relationships really. As like the role that I played on the team wasn't just as a player. Obviously, as you know, Tyler, it's just there's a lot of things you have to do, and I was happy to do it, and I'm happy to pass it off to him to get done, and I think that he's going to do a good job with it. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, we saw we had Heat out there. We had, of course, Impact. We had Diesel and X Factor all trying a bunch of new formats out there in Dallas. It's a pretty crazy weekend.
I like that. I like that they took time. The league took time out to try different things to see if we are doing the right thing, right? Like if we're playing the right format, you're going to have it obviously where things are going to work or things aren't going to work. But instead of just going and making people spend their money at a tournament and like, trying a format, kind of like we did a couple of years ago with that 5-man situation, and that was boring for 8 hours in a day. It's better to have like the top tier teams actually try it, right? So there's a lot of caliber different players and teams out there, and I think that it's good that the league did that. I think that it was good to get everybody out there just to play. Did they do anything as far as recording it all or anything else?
As far as a what?
Like recording the
No, I mean, we did have like GoPro stuff and different cameras, on the goggles and stuff like that. So, test some first person shooter type things. I'm not sure if they were recording from like an overhead view. They did have Matty Marshall out there. And so I think they were kind of just trying to gauge how it looks to the spectator. But, I was on the coaches show last night speaking about how, my feelings on the entire thing. And to me, it's about the production. The production is where we really need to focus on explaining what we do and explaining the game and doing 100%. A good job with graphics and instant replays and commentary and analysts, on-field interviews, making sure that the viewer always knows what's going on. We need to make sure when a penalty is thrown, you have Matty Marshall up there for 3 minutes. He doesn't know who got the penalty or what for. So the viewer is confused as well, obviously, so if we can do a better job of just explaining that and putting focus and emphasis on that, I think that's where it'll be a game changer.
100%. And you got to think about it too, is, this is where I saw potential a couple of years ago when they had that ultimate shootout, because it was post-production. It was easier for them to go back and explain things. It was easier for the viewer to watch, right? Because if you think about it, like I remember way back in the day, somebody from my family came to watch me play, and literally all they saw was like just 5-on-5, and then everybody just crashed in the middle. And I'm like, okay, like for them to understand that and everything else, or to even understand what's going on, they're probably like, okay, this is goofy. But like you said, if we take time to actually, and I think that, it's starting to move towards that, and it does take time to figure it all out. But like you said, without somebody putting knowledge in somebody's head like that, then it's hard for them to see it. So I think that it is going to hopefully go in the right direction for it. And, it takes it to where it can be on TV and, people want to watch it and they do understand it, and then they want to go out and try and play it. So.
Absolutely. Well, it's no different than like we're all trying to build a picture for ourselves on the field, right? So we kind of need to take that same motto and build that picture through that production. Yeah, in the mind of the viewer, in the mind of the person who's trying to understand, just like we're trying to put it together, we got to put it together for them on that show. And I think it's going to get exciting. I know that everyone's working really hard on the production, on the show, on building that picture for everybody. We tried some crazy ass formats out this year out in Dallas, and there was some of them that I absolutely did not like. There was a couple I didn't mind, and I understand what we're trying to do. We're trying to build a focal point, right? I will always be the biggest proponent of like leaning towards traditional paintball. I love traditional paintball. Don't get me wrong. I love the 5v5 format, and it's really crafty. You get all of these things that happen naturally, but I do also understand that we're trying to pivot in a way that we can give a show. But as long as we can, like we said, build that picture for them, create the focal points, I think there's probably going to be some, it's going to be a little gimmicky, but there's going to be some buzzers and things like that. I hate to even use that word because it's just they're driving it to a focal point, right? They want people to be like, okay, here, watch this. This is what's going to happen. And if they get here in this amount of time, they're going to get these points. And I think that actually building the points up in a bigger way is going to help paintball too. Because right now it's just like, some of the scores are 2-1. It's almost like, like a soccer match, pretty low scoring scores. If we can find a way to build those points up, it does make it a little bit more entertaining when you have like a 16-25 score or a 40-30 or something like that.
Yeah. 100%. I agree, Ty, but again, I think we need to be very responsible with what we do, because we currently have people that don't understand the game, haven't been involved. And I'm speaking to like, whether it's, ESPN or people that are trying to now come in and want to put on a production. They have not been around for 20 years. They don't know our game. The only thing they care about is, can we get something that we can put on, Wednesday night at 11 p.m. and get some views? That's the only thing they care about. So yes, some type of format with a bunch of buzzers and kind of chaos. And I believe you did use the right word when you said gimmicky. When you're adding all these buzzers into the game and it completely is changing paintball to its core in a way. Yes, that might be appealing to somebody that's tuning in. American Gladiator is appealing to people.
That's exactly what I was going to use as American Gladiator.
People tune in and watch that, but is that what we want our sport to be? Because listen, I know originally their whole thing is, look, this is not going to change what we do at the NXL. This is just something to film and showcase.
That's right.
But if that's what gets numbers, then everything else is going to change towards that. It's going to have to. And is that the type of paintball that we want to present to the masses? What we have right now is a very real sport, a very complex sport. It has more nuance than almost any other game. There's offense and defense within every single point. It's based around the score and the clock. We've spent 20 years getting to the point that we are at now, to where our game has been, tweaked and modified and changed and in the right direction. I believe that the league and the powers that be have done an excellent job at really getting our game to a really good spot. So to completely change that because of some opinions of people that don't know our game, I don't believe that's the answer. I believe that the answer is doing a better job of showcasing what we have. And if that means that we have to have these one-off events where there's only 6 teams and we could have 5 minutes in between points and really, build the format around the show. I'm going to keep saying this. I've said it on a few different shows, so I'm sorry if you guys are sick of hearing it, but a football game is an hour long. But you sit down and you watch for over 3 hours because there's, each quarter, there's the halftime show, there's all the analysts, there's ads, there's, all the commercials, there's, all sorts of stuff that is keeping you engaged. There's graphics that come up that give statistics of a certain player, instant replay of like spectacular plays that in real time you don't even realize are that special. But then in instant replay with a commentator that does a really good job of keeping you engaged, you go, whoa, that is why that person is a professional. That is why I can't do that as a viewer. That's the stuff that captivates people, so I would just love for us to really lean into that before we do something that completely changes the way our game looks. Because I got to be honest, there was one format that was somewhat fun to play. It was that first one with the, buzzers across the 50. And the reason I liked it, the reason I liked it is because you know, there was a buzzer each 50, the snake 50, Dorito 50, and center 50. Each one of those was worth 1 point. And then actually winning the point and hitting the buzzer at the other end was worth 4 points. So it did make the game a little more high scoring, and you were rewarded most for actually winning the point. So that was my favorite of them. It was actually the only one that I thought had some legs, but still, you know, we're going to completely change how the game is played. And I don't know, it's just not the game that really any of us fell in love with. And I want to be very clear. I'm not against change. I understand all sports make change, you know, but moving the 3-point line back a couple feet in basketball is entirely different than adding another basketball to the court and say, okay, now we're playing with 2 basketballs. You know, it's an entirely different thing. So yeah, we can make changes. It could be 7-on-7, it could be 5-on-5, but like the essence and strategy that we've built for, you know, 20 years, I think is really potent, and it has a lot to talk about. And if you have commentators that can really capture that, and multiple, not just Maddie, who's up there by himself 12 hours a day, basically, like really trying to engage people. You know, there's a reason.
Well, I don't think we have a time slot that's long enough to have a 3-hour show.
I know, but I mean? That's exactly my point. But we need to focus on building the game around a show if that's what we want to do.
I agree.
Yeah,
completely agree. But I'm just saying that our time slot for a TV for what we have, I think is it's an hour. Or 30 minutes.
I'm not saying we need to have a 3-hour game, but yeah. So my point is, if a paintball match is 15 minutes, well, then it needs to be 30 minutes, you know, and we need double the time to actually, you know, talk about what happened, you know, within the point and break things down and have instant replay. And again, there's a reason Tony Romo, I'm pretty sure it was Romo in the playoffs. It was one of the playoff games where the game was kind of out of reach for one of the teams. And to start the fourth quarter, he basically, you know, said like, you know, the game's pretty much over, and he was under fire from the networks because
that's right. Yeah.
Because what does that do to the viewer? Now the viewer is like, oh, why should I watch? Why should I watch? I'm going to turn this off. That's how important the commentary is. The commentary in football games are always animated. They're excited, you know? And so as a viewer, your heart gets racing, you know, your blood pressure kind of raises because you realize the gravity of the moment based on the commentator's reactions. You know,
there's so many different, there's so many parameters that are going against each other. And there's a lot going on at these tournaments right now. Like, we are trying to cram things in, and it's a lot.
And not only that, but like, you gotta think about it. The format, how it is right now, it takes a real athlete to be out there and do way more than it took even 10 years ago. Right. Or even like, and I understand that, like, you know, a lot of these, like different formats there, even back in 7-man, you could be a bigger person and, you know, or not like a true athlete, or even in 10-man. And, you know, those are still around, but at the same time, like to play professional paintball and to be at this level and to take it to another level, you have to be, you know, a real elite athlete, because it's like, man, to go that long or to do anything else. And a lot of it is, you know, based on, you know, people not playing as much, but, you know, getting more out of it. And it's like, it still takes a lot for somebody to go out there and play 14 points in a row. It's like, it's difficult.
Oh, yeah. Very difficult. And I hope that it does turn into a more long tail game. Like, I would love to see us have 5-minute quarters, or you know, whatever that looks like, and have a longer tail game. But we've definitely, we're in the early stages of all this growth and development, and we're still trying to, you know, crunch the ideas and see what's going to work and what's going to catch. I know that for the TV slot, how long is the TV slot that we get? It's not an hour. I don't think is it 30 minutes?
This one was 30 minutes. I think they were discussing an hour slot.
I believe it comes down to money, right? Just as far as like, you know, like how much we're willing to like, you know, as far as like, you know, if you have that much time, it's almost like a commercial. Like if you have a 15-second commercial, how much is that going to be for, like, you know, like for your viewers? So and that's kind of where sponsors come in, where it's like, hey, we get them inserted into there, and like they're getting that time, and like we're getting the advertisement, and, you know, people are going to see paintball. No,
totally. And I'm with March. Like, it's kind of scary because we're going to put this thing out into the world. It's going to be this 30-minute game, and it is going to be a little bit more gimmicky. And if it does catch on, then that, like Marcella's saying, that could become the norm. That could be what people are like.
It's just not what we know at, like, from like what we've grown up to. But like Mar said, he's not against it. He just wants to make sure it's proper to, like, you know, the right person and everything else, and it's still a game that's fun to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's also
there's ways.
Yeah, and there's also like, we've spent especially the last 10 years really fine tuning. There's no way that we can come up with a new format and foresee all the potential issues right away. It's going to take time to work the kinks out in that. Like you're going to run into a team that finds a way to game the new game, and you maybe still have a super low scoring, boring game because there's a strategy that a team implements that you're like, oh, we didn't think of that. Like that's an issue, and so again, I just feel like we have to be really careful and responsible. And I think that's what they're also doing. That's why they actually did have 4 teams go out there and practice and go through some of these different formats. But it takes a lot of time and often multiple tournaments before one situation pops up. I mean, the reality is we've had 2 1-0 games in the last 2. We've had 2, and we're like so dead set on those 2 games because they were boring to watch. But to me, that's the anomaly. If you go back and look at the scores, Sunday matches have on average been decent scoring, like 5-6 points. That's decent scoring for a 15-minute game. So I don't think the game has been incredibly slow. I think they've done a really good job with most of the layouts in, providing kind of a fast-paced, high-scoring environment. So yeah, I don't know. You're always going to have the anomaly. You have slow football games. Sometimes, these defenses match up with these offenses and it's super low scoring. Look, the Super Bowl was just a disaster, an absolute blowout. But it was the most watched Super Bowl. They broke the record. Why? Because the stories. It's not really about the game. Like it was the stories. It was the buildup. Everybody wanted to watch the Chiefs fail, and they did. But the game itself was not good.
Yeah, they got shit on. And you got to think about it too. And Matty Marshall says this a lot. When people get up every day, they have to have a reason to care, or why do they want to go see something? And It's like, even when I was doing those one-on-ones and I'm on my phone just barking and talking shit, but it gave people a reason to care, right? Like
that's right.
Kind of where Conor McGregor goes in, and that was really like a moment for me. Oliver said this to me last year when you guys are up on the stage. I'm at the bar taking shots because I was just so happy for you guys getting the show of the year. And Oliver's like, man, he's like, you should have been in wrestling, because he's like, you make people either want to hate you or love you, but at the same time, you're giving them reason to care. And I'm like, 100%. So, that's something too. Like, it might seem gimmicky, but at the same time, like, the media builds up a story. Right now, we only have so much media to build up a story. And like you said, like even the Super Bowl, like people wanted to see Patrick Mahomes fail. But then if he goes and wins, then he's like greatness, right? And it's like, do people want to see you fail, or they want to see you win? You're going to have it on both sides. Obviously, more wanted to see the underdog come in and take over and destroy their city. But at the same time, that's just who they are. And, they play like dogs. So,
yeah, that was a crazy game.
Yeah, what they did afterwards was even more crazy.
In the city, it was going up.
Dude, it's just like, wow. But at the same time, they won a Super Bowl. Like, shit.
And that's only the second one ever for him out there in Philly, which is crazy. Yeah. And, I know everyone's working really hard. We're all on the same team. We're all moving towards the same mission. We want paintball to be successful. And that's really at the core of it all. That's what it's all about. So as long as we stay connected and keep working hard together, I know we can find great ways to debut the sport to the world and keep it fun for people who want to play the traditional style as well. We can have it all. There are ways that we can marry everything together and have a great game for the world to enjoy. And, there's some crazy ways that we can do that with time, limiting time, limiting certain aspects of the game can really push it forward. And I'm sure we're going to see that for the standalone event that we do whenever that is. I know that they're talking about having one event at some point this year that's going to be kind of like away from the tournament aspect and going to be like a show essentially.
Which is exactly where they need to do, because if they need to stop something or however they need to do it. But I think what you guys did last weekend, it's kind of monumental, because it's like, hey, let's keep working on this. And, you guys are a part of going to this and being like, one of the first guys to see and test it out. Because if we didn't have people to do that, then how would we really like start making this sport like, more viewable for people, right? And it's like, how do we make the game better? And it's just like, obviously, if the wheel's not broke, like, don't stop. But at the same time, like, there's obviously room for growth. There's room for, getting more production, more stories into it and everything else. And, I think that, Jason Chosen, I believe he was behind a lot of this, like trying to do it. And I think he's doing a great job by doing this. I think he cares about paintball just as much as we do, and if not more, because he did the same thing as we did as a kid. He went pro and then played for a long time. So I think it's going in the right direction of everybody, like setting things aside, going to separate weekends, and playing paintball, but at the same time, just trying out different things. And it's not going to be perfect the first time, and it's just like hopefully they find out the right format and the right formula to make it all work. And I truly believe they will. And it leaves more room for growth. So I think it's great for paintball.
Absolutely. And we want to see the tournament side continue to flourish as well. Like everyone who's going to these events, we want everyone to be having fun and playing the top level paintball that they can at their national or regional events, and nurturing all of that as well. And speaking of entertainment, the most entertaining of all time, is sitting right here on the show with us. So let's dive into like what this has been like, because you just recently retired, man. I know that was a big decision. I know you're going to miss playing paintball, but what you've done in this game has truly shaped so many people's lives from the beginning of your career, all the relationships you've nurtured throughout your entire career. So what has been some of the most special moments for you, and what are you looking forward to now that you get to, step away from the game?
I don't think it's really set in yet, because it's not like I wake up and I'm like, I'm retired, even though like I live in a gated community that has about everybody between 70 and 80 years old. And I'm like, hey, we're all on the same level. And they're like, yeah, kid. But no, I'm excited because, obviously like real life catches up with everyone. And I got the opportunity, to work for Defy Paintball. They brought me on, they made me their national sales director. And, I absolutely love it. It's a lot of work. But at the same time, it allows me to focus on my job. Paintball, like being a professional paintball player, as you guys know, has been like, it's been my life for so long. And it's just like, I loved it and every moment of it, but, I had to make a decision to grow up, and, I'm still going to be around paintball. I still coach a team around here in Myrtle Beach. Shout out the Beach Bandits.
Beach Bandits.
Let's go. The biggest thing too is like, I'll still play a lot. Like I'll play, I just won't play professional paintball. And that's okay, because, like that's just something I had to come to terms with, because if I couldn't give myself 110% to the game, and be there to train the same way you guys do, to go out there above and beyond and do everything else, then, if I couldn't do it 110%, I didn't need to do it at all. So
your work ethic, dude, is second to none. You have some of the best work ethic.
And the thing is like, when I started on this team with Houston Heat, like I was dog shit. And I've said it before and everything else, and I was lucky to be there, but at the same time, I brought something else to the game that helped. Randy Smith like relied on me for other things, and it was the things outside of that, which I think that's helped me progress to even have a career now. So it's like, like you said, with the networking, having the ability to, just meet a lot of people and give like other people opportunities. I remember even when I was recruiting Connor Kelly, and it was just like, he told me, he's like, this was a way easier decision just from like how you talk to me about it. And I'm just like, yeah, like just being real with people. And, Randy gave me that ability, and I couldn't be more thankful for it. And, like I learned a lot, and, helped me grow up. And the biggest thing I could ever say is like, thank you, because I love the game still, and I'll still be around it. And it's just like, it made me to who I am today.
Yeah. So. And he's still in the game, everybody. He's still going to be around. And let's go. Who were like a lot of your early, influences and mentors that, have obviously, they're not a part of the game anymore, but gave you the pathway to do what you did,
So I'll say, a lot of people don't understand how close I was with Tim Montresor. He helped me along, like when he came to Aftershock in 2010, because right after Philly, we picked him up. He actually did one of the most selfless things. Like he didn't want to get paid or anything. He just wanted to bring a couple guys with him. And we were like, sweet, we get even more guys from Philly, and we don't have to because we didn't have any money at the time to go buy players, but he wanted to play for that name. And when I just from the second he did that, he brought guys on with him, and, that was like crazy to me, because he didn't look out for himself. He looked out for others. And then he invited me out to Pittsburgh. And then, when he even found out like a couple years later that we had the opportunity to build Houston Heat, he guided me on so many different things. And he's like, you're going to have people coming at you left and right. You need to do what's best for the team. He helped us, find Chad George. He pulled me aside in a bar one day, and he's like, Chad was a dynasty at the time, and he knew Chad wasn't happy, like where he was at. And, he's like, hey, you guys could get him. And Chad George was actually the last guy we added to the roster, because you got to think about it. When Randy was building this team, he didn't know anything about any players. He just knew that he wanted a professional team, and he kind of like, he looked at Samando and myself and was like, hey, you know, what do you guys think is the best for this? And, you know, we'd already been through a situation even with the original members on the team. A couple of them had bailed out on the internet. We didn't even know they were going to bail, and they bailed out. So then we still had room to pick up somebody like Chad George. And Chad was an MVP for us for so long. And it was like, man, everything happens for a reason. The team getting built was just like, it was incredible. And so Tim was definitely a big help and encouragement in that. You know, I've had a lot of good coaches guide me outside of paintball, along with, you know, just playing paintball. Somebody who guided me a lot, gave me a good shot, was Jeremy Salm. It seems kind of crazy because Jeremy's not really around anymore, but the way that Jeremy taught me a lot of things, he was truly like a mentor to me, like through a lot of things. Even when I was still on Heat, he still talked to me a lot. Jason Trozen, he did a lot. I mean, I still talk to Jason to this day. And even when he stopped coaching with Houston Heat, you know, I was like, that to me, like that one hurt a lot when we didn't have Jason anymore, because he was a really good coach. He held us accountable for a lot of things on and off the field. And, you know, and then Randy Smith is somebody who, he's taught me so much. He's taught me how to move in ways that, like, you know, that don't need to make, you know, people feel uncomfortable, or, you know, just in general, like, you know, how to treat people, you know, no matter what it is, or at the end of the day, or even at the beginning of the day, people put their pants on the same way. So it's like, you know, treat people with a lot of respect and go from there. Right. So that's just off the top of my head. As far as people like that mentored me and everything else, players that I truly felt like, you know, like you watch them and you're like, damn, like these guys are truly special, is, you know, like both of yourselves, like when you guys play, the things, how you guys like evolve yourselves in the game and like life, like your life is paintball, even though you have a lot going on outside of it, you make sure every day, like you're doing something with paintball. You might not even realize it, but it's something with paintball. And that's something that I loved. Just from the very beginning. And it's like, that's how I relate with a lot of people, like a top tier pros, because they do that with their lives. Right. Absolutely. And, you know, it's big, because a lot of people don't really look at it until it's either over or they can't do it anymore at all. So, that's something I thought about a lot. And then, you know, I mean, I got the opportunity to play with a lot of great players, and, you know, Konstantin Fedorov, Tyler, yourself, you know, even watching guys grow, come up, and you guys saw him last weekend as a guy as Mishka. That guy is beast. I couldn't say his age on here, but I know his age. Nobody knows it, but I'm pretty sure he's taken baths with I don't even know, that make him still look so young, but he's definitely a lot older than me, and still going out there and just doing it, you know. And
yeah. Is he older than Greenspan?
How old's Ryan? I'll tell you.
42.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh. Lost you.
Hang on.
Camera cut out.
Can you hear me still?
I mean, Mishka's tuned in. He's
yeah, right.
He's like, nope, you're not going to tell my age. No way. For the listeners, we're over here on the YouTube and got some camera technical difficulties. But no, Mishka's a beast. He was balling out this weekend.
Always, man. And he works so hard. I really appreciate that about him, is, you know, even when he's back home, he is working his butt off to make sure that he's going to the paintball field. He even does like winter sports training type stuff, skiing through, you know, the mountains, and just making sure that his body is primed, his mind is primed, and he's ready to go when it's tournament time.
There we go. We got him back.
You good?
Yeah, we got you.
Sorry. That was weird. Mishka, I know you did that shit.
Yeah. Got him.
No, but how old's Greenspan? 41?
42, I think.
Sorry,
actually, I think he's turning 43 this year.
Yeah, Mish, you got him beat. Sorry, brother.
Whoa, damn.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I thought Mishka was like the same age as Fedorov. So I thought Mishka was like 39, 40.
So no, Fedorov's younger. Did you know that Fedorov?
Thank you all from the bottom of our hearts for the tremendous support with the PTG show. If you are enjoying these episodes and want to help with the progress and development of this program and connect with like-minded, hungry paintball players, then head on over to ptgpodcast.com, click the orange Patreon link, and become a member of the PTG World Discord chat room. And now back to the show.
Trozen and Moorhead all have the same birthdays?
Yeah.
What?
Crazy.
Yeah. And then Misha's got a birthday. Crazy. It's either with Yosh or When's Yoshi? I don't know.
And George Washington shares
right?
the same like birth year.
Yeah.
And Yosh is oh man.
Yeah, I don't remember when
September?
Yoshi is. Mishka has the birthday with somebody else because he's got a good 3-man team.
Nice.
As far as birthdays go, Fedorov, Moorhead, and Trozen, and then I'm not even sure like as far as like other birthdays go, but I just know that every year that when we were with Fedorov and Moorhead, we were always celebrating their birthdays. So
yeah, party.
Nice.
And Trozen, so it's wild.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I didn't know that. Yeah, Mishka is like he's obviously still in excellent shape and one of the best shooters in the game. Just incredibly accurate. Always, yeah.
He truly made an impact. I mean, he was my roommate from the first year all the way until, Tyler knows he gets emotional if he's not.
You guys had some rough moments there for a little bit.
Towards the end there, I'd like to get a little space, and he'd already been put up with.
It was just comedy, dude. The whole time, just comedy. Always laughing, having fun.
At the end of the day, yeah, with Mishka and I, I remember even, he'd call me from Russia and his kids wanted to learn things about like just reading English and things like that. And I would help him with that stuff. And I never thought that would even be like a thought in my head, like that somebody's calling me from Russia for their child to learn English. So it was cool. And he was not only a great mentor, but a great roommate. And thank you, Mish, for always putting up with all my shit. But I picked on him a lot more. So I deserved probably anything he ever did to me. So he got me once at the very beginning of our existence of Houston Heat, and he put big old boulders in my gear bag. So when I got to the airport, I was like lugging all this stuff around, and the lady's like, "Your bag's over," and I'm like, "That's not even possible." And she's like, "I'm sorry, it's over." So I opened it up, and all these boulders are like in my bag. And I got a text from him after, like, "Hey, did you find your present?" And I'm like, "All right,
son of a bitch."
Yeah, I got him back plenty of times, and probably 10 times worse. But yeah, it started off great, and it's still going great. So.
Well, he ain't going nowhere. You know that. He's still going to be calling you and hounding you. And I know you guys
called me yesterday. Like, I need help with this. And I'm like, do it yourself. I'm gone.
He's the man, dude.
So, yeah, I don't know who's going to help him now, but somebody will step up. So.
Well, that's just paintball right there. Like through this crazy game, you've been able to nurture relationships across the globe. And you said, how many players that you admire. Well, there's countless players out there that admire you and what you did for the game. And you actually helped so many players get into paintball and like start their careers, or if they're a young semi-pro or trying to chase that pro career, attack that and claim that.
Yeah. And that's something too, is like, and like you guys both see it a lot of times with coaching, right? Like Marcel, you coach a lot of people. And it's like, you see these kids like, and Tyler with clinics and everything else, you see the talent, like, and like as a player and everything else, like, who you were as like a kid and everything else. And you're like, okay, like he's next. You guys just had a kid at the combine, and I've seen this kid now for a little while. He played on one of the teams that we helped sponsor last year. And I'm like, this kid, he's going to play pro. And then I think he won an award at your guys' combine. I can't say his name because if I say his name, he's going to go platinum. So I can't do all that. So
let's say his name. Give him some shine.
His name's Owen Pinch, I believe.
Owen Pinch. Okay. Yeah. He was the overall winner.
Yep.
He was on my team we had a tournament.
Oh yeah,
and
I saw that. I was like, Ty got them all.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
And then I saw there was an 11-year-old kid running and shooting the snake, and I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
At the combine. So like that's something too. And it's like I have Ryan actually stopped me last year at World Cup. There's a kid that I met when he was 11, 12 years old, and he's a teenager now, and I've been coaching him for a little while. And Ryan pulled me aside when he went to his second clinic, and he's like, dude, what you just did with that kid is night and day. Oh, did it go again?
Oh,
we can still hear you.
0 Dark 30.
We still got your audio though.
You got it still?
Yeah.
You got the audio, just not the video. Your little white icon. You gotta get that beautiful.
Keep telling the story though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, as far as the kid goes, you just see these guys literally like start to evolve, and like if they're gonna play pro or not, like you have that ability, right? And it's
absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's always with the really young kids, and obviously I've been fortunate enough to work with quite a few of them. You will see the players that definitely have the potential, but they got to withstand the test of life. going through high school and college and being pulled in different directions with different friend groups and, relationships. That's always the tough thing is if they, keep interest. And, I decided early on, I was never going to be the type of coach that tried to, force those players that I believed in to want to put in the work. Like that part they had to have.
Correct.
That part they had to do.
Yes.
Once they had that and show me that that's what they want, then I can provide everything else for them. Yep. But that's the one thing. And we all know growing up, like we all came up through, some different camps. There was a bunch of us around the same age group, and it's like a lot of us had the potential, but, we're the last one standing within that group, or maybe you have a few buddies that stuck it through, but it's just the reality of it.
Ty, you had a pretty interesting camp coming up as a kid.
Oh boy. Yeah, it was insane.
We'll keep it PG here.
Yeah. I mean, Oakland at 13 with the Oakland Assassins. And I will never stop saying how grateful I am for that wild ass crew of people, because they were
taught you so much. And
and
I think that even Marcel, you just said it right there. Like, you see the potential, but a kid might have the most potential, but he might not want it for the same thing like that you wanted it for, right? And you'll see it and you'll know it. But like you said, not forcing it is the answer. And a kid like Colton Dahl, perfect example.
Exactly.
I remember when he told me that he's like, I know Marcelo, and like he came to one of our clinics, and the kid was a stud, and like he was a small kid who literally was gunfighting everybody. I looked at him on, I'm like, he's 12, 13 years old. Like, you guys had to take accountability for like what's going on right here. And they didn't know how to swallow that. Right. But I knew exactly like where he was going with it. And it was just like, he had his parents' support as far as like, getting him there, making sure that like he's doing what he loves and going from there. Right. And it's just like, he truly loves paintball. And I believe that, he's going to be like, he's one of the guys that are the future. And,
absolutely.
It's great because like you see things like that, because we didn't really have somebody like that like really looked out for it, right? Like Tyler, you said, you had Oakland, but it's like, I mean, that was in your backyard, and it was just like shit. So, I think the closest protein to me was 4 hours, and that was Aftershock. And those are some of the most baddest dudes on the planet at the time. And if you weren't down with them, they're beating the shit out of you. So that's the mentality that we grew up with Aftershock. But at the same time, it taught me so much, right? And I couldn't be more thankful for it. So, and somebody else that, like, when you asked me earlier, is he doesn't really play that much anymore, is somebody like Tommy O'Donnell. He wanted the same things I wanted, a kid growing up, coming from Indianapolis. He started a 7-man team, played pro, bounced back and forth. He mentored me a lot. And, I remember my first year with Aftershock, he was on the team. And I had a terrible practice against Philly. They kicked the shit out of us. And all he did was send me a text like, hey, like he got the shit kicked out of him too. But he's like, hey, everything you just did, he's like, just take it as a lesson and keep moving forward. Right. Like, he was a great leader. He mentored me a lot. So shout out to him. I never give him props for it, but, I sit down and I think about it, and I'm like, there's one guy that looked out for me a lot. So,
absolutely. And big love to the whole Midwest Army out there. I mean, there were so many players and camps that were all rallying and fighting to be the best pro team in the area or the best players in the area. Yeah. And like you said, you got to navigate through life and also push yourself to be the best player you can be, and stay the course, because there's so many things that can deviate you from that course. But being focused and having your intention in the right area, that's how you get to, the career that you had.
Yep. 100%. And, and I'll say this also is like, building relationships like in this game is big. Not for the wrong reasons, for the right reasons. And I'll say this, I have a really good relationship with Ryan Brand. Ryan Brand is a good mentor. He's a smart guy. I think he's one of the best coaches in the NXL. I think that he looks out for his team way more than people think. Like, every year he's trying to make his team better. I think he's just a phenomenal dude. And I think that, the game and X Factor, I don't know what X Factor would be without him. Right. Like, he's a great,
totally agree.
Yeah. I think he's a great leader for their team. And he obviously got Archie to not retire and, do big things. And, they got him back this year. So I see, I see great things with them happening. And I think they're still going to be a really, really good team. They'll be a dominant team. So shout out to him for sure.
Yeah. I want to talk to you about, like, is there one defining moment in your career that happened in paintball that was a catalyst for some massive, personal growth that you can think of?
I'll say this, and it's kind of crazy because it was later in my career. When COVID happened, I remember Vegas, and I was going through the middle and just beating the shit out of this team, DMG. And I'm like, man, I was like, I'm gonna play every single point in this tournament. And then on Sunday, we come out and we get beat in the first match. I didn't play a single point. I was pissed. I'm like, dude, the game plan was working. They're like, well, they know you're coming through the middle. I'm like, that turns guns. Like, what are we talking about? And, we didn't get to talk about it until after. And then Steve Rabikoff called me and he's wanted me to play the ultimate shootout because, COVID had just started. And he's like, hey, man, he's like, I think you'd be perfect for this. This is an opportunity for you to go out. And all I want to do is play. And even with the, is that you guys? No, that's not me. Is that me? It is me.
That's
People
you.
calling
That's
you
for sure.
all day. He's a busy man. He stays busy.
I got a job, right?
I was like, yeah, I need some paint. Can you send some paint?
Oh, dude. It's no, it's great. So, and then I went back online. Okay. So then where was I at with it? What was I talking about?
Ultimate shootout. Steve Rabikoff called you.
So
all you want to do is play.
That was the situation. And then I honestly before I even got to play that, Marky had talked to me about playing in Pro Tour. And so that was the first thing I was training for. And all I did was drive 3 hours, go up, meet up with Ronnie, practice. And then I got to play Pat Kraft and the Pro Tour, and he ended up coming back and beating me. But it wasn't that it was better that he beat me, because I feel like I still got cheated in that. So short, get the taste back. Marcelo was the commentator. He saw it. No, shout out to PK. The big thing
we need a rematch.
Yeah.
We need a rematch.
That right there, I felt like a pit bull in a cage because I never felt like I could go like that long, that many points, and still have it to go. Geez, I am falling apart here.
That was
and everything else.
That was so much fun. The Pro Tour.
Man.
There's a storm going on.
Yeah,
that does not matter. I don't know what is going on.
Yeah, just for the listeners again, the YouTube is falling apart over here on the retirement show.
Dude, I tell you, this is it right here. He's coming back. He's alive. It's like,
we're trying to get video back. Yeah, hopefully your retirement doesn't look like this, where it's back and forth. It's like one clean.
No, I will say this a lot, and my wife keeps saying this is she's like, you'll be back in a year, and I still love the game, yes. But the only jersey I wanted to put on was with Houston Heat, and I'm glad I got to when I started with Heat and starting the team, and if I could hang it up with that, then that's fine with me. My loyalty is towards Randy Smith and Mama D and everybody on Houston Heat. Tyler knows how the culture is with it. It's just, to me, it means the world. So like for me to be able to do that, I'm okay with that, right? And I think that was actually the thing too, is like when I talked to Randy about it and I explained to him that he had to be okay with it. It was emotional, and I appreciate everything he's ever done. And it was truly, like I said, I didn't truly know if it was going to be right or wrong, but at the same time, I feel like it's the right decision for the right time. So yeah,
totally. Yeah. Real quick though, I want to just kind of round out, so that moment, you're talking about the one-on-one and feeling like a pit bull. How was that, kind of a defining moment or a catalyst that, helped you with, personal growth?
So I never felt like it became a mental game. I saw Scott Kemp say this a long time ago when he was starting to do training. Like your body feels like it's going to shut down, but at the same time, mentally, like you go another notch in your brain. And it's like, if you continue to push yourself. And I knew then, and actually Tyler got to watch me do it, where there was a practice where I had to play every single point. And I did it because it wasn't that my body was in the best shape in the world or anything else, but I knew mentally I was not going to let it break me down because I'd been through those moments in those one-on-ones. And I encourage a lot of people, if you want to change your game and make yourself better, Tyler, you showed people right in the one-on-ones. Marcelo, you've been so clutch so many times in tournaments.
Do tough shit. Do tough things.
Yeah. That shit's difficult. And it's something that a lot of people don't like it because, it makes them vulnerable. They lose. They don't want people to think they're a loser. And that's not the case. Like if you want to become better, and I was probably the worst one-on-one player, and like legitimately, like you had to go out and, you have to take that and swallow it. And that's what makes yourself better. And I think that's what a lot of pros coming up, or a lot of guys, if they take that accountability and they open themselves up to different things like that, I think that, they can go to another level. And that's what helped me go to another level. And it wasn't just me just always running through the middle. Then I became more of a player that was more versatile. Right. And I felt like I learned a lot of that mentally and, what I was capable of doing and a thing. And then after Pro Tour, I got to go to Ultimate Shootout and I ended up winning that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. And, those are some moments, and then, it worked out. So.
Well, that's just grit. You got the grit mentality. You're one of the grittiest players there is.
And I think that I get that from the Midwest because of who I grew up around with Aftershock and everything else. And that was just the thing. And I loved every moment of it. So it worked out.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, you've been fighting.
It's a powerful statement there too. The mind can do things that the body doesn't believe sometimes. And it, the belief comes from the mind. So, being able to push yourself, when you're tired, when you're exhausted, when you have doubt, when you don't feel good, when you feel like you can't do something, when you have anxiety, whatever it is, if you can find a way to master your emotions and master your mind and overcome those situations, it's usually when great things are achieved, whether it's in sports, business, relationships, even just waking up and trying to go get a good workout in. Sometimes you don't feel like it, right? But if you can push through, we got him back. We got him back.
I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah. Is there?
It's on a timer.
It's on a timer.
I think it's just my battery. It's yeah. I'm not sure. I can switch out the battery. I'm not even sure. It just keeps shutting off. So
yeah, all good. We got you.
Could be a sign to get back to work because people keep calling me. So
yeah.
Well, before we let you do all that, what's one message you would want to leave for your fans over the years and the paintball community as a whole?
Don't give up. You're going to get a lot of people are going to criticize you. You're going to be vulnerable to a lot of things. The game is not easy. It's not for everybody. And it's a luxury sport. So it costs a lot. You got to sacrifice not only just financially, but your life. If you want to truly become, and you guys know, if you want to become a champion and do it multiple times, it's a lot of sacrifice, and you're going to weed through a lot of things, but don't give up. If you truly love it, like you think you love it, then, believe in it, believe in yourself, and make it happen.
Hey, let's go. What's next for Chad YAYA Bouchez? Coaching, media, business?
I think
unexpected.
I might take on all of it at the same time. I've been coaching, obviously for a little while now. I truly do love it. Maybe I'll get the opportunity and even the next event to go up there and be in the box with Maddie for a little bit, do some commentary up there.
Nice.
The last couple of years I didn't get to do it because I had to focus every time on playing. So I do truly enjoy something like that. And then just selling paintballs and working for Defy. It's on the path right now. I truly really like being there. I get to work with Todd Martinez every single day. He was another person who had a lot to do with, my career of who I was. And he really gave me a lot of influence. And so shout out to him. And I get every day now the opportunity to see him. So it's really great. I like all the guys there so far. And, it's going to be a task. And, I came from a company that, showed me a lot with HK and everything I feel like they showed me and why they're a top tier company. I can just take that and, move it over to with Defy and help, bring that up and help be responsible for that. So that's definitely the goal. And I think I'm going to kick some doors in and go from there.
Sounds like you're going to take that same competitive mindset straight into business.
Yeah. I might have a problem just being competitive, but I'm okay with it. So
yeah, that's what it is. I think you realize that once you achieve, an elite level in anything, you kind of understand the formula and you could apply it to everything.
100%.
So, definitely see you doing big things over there at Defy.
Appreciate that, guys.
All right. So before we let you go, I'm going to give you a rapid fire, little questions. Then we got the PTG Discord questions. They've got some questions for you as well. Everyone obviously loves you and wants to sound off on that. Rapid fire round. Most underrated player in the league right now.
Right now? Shit.
And they're not underrated. Probably people know about them.
I think I have a good answer for this, actually.
All right, you're next. Let's see what YAYA says.
I mean, off the top of my head, shit. I'm gonna go with one of the new kids that just got onto Houston Heat that I think is gonna have a standout. He needs some more help around him, and I think Cody LaPapa is I think a kid that's gonna come up. He's not the most underrated. I just don't think that he hasn't hit his potential yet, but he's right there. He's really smart in the way he moves. I think is really good. And yeah, I think the biggest thing is, I'll just go with him on that one. Go ahead. Right. Who do you got, Marcel?
Man, I think I gotta say towards the end of the year, it has to be Nate Schrader. I mean, he obviously has been around for a long time. And I only say underrated because when he made the move back to Uprising, they became like kind of legitimate contenders and the team was not doing well at all. And so whatever he brought, he obviously was playing very well, but I think he brought more that people don't see, from like a strategy standpoint and practice standpoint and all of that. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with my boy Nate.
I would agree with that. And he's actually one of the guys I called in the offseason to see what he was doing. And it wasn't even a conversation. So shout out to him for that.
Wow.
He definitely as when he went back there and, he was playing good when he was on the Ironman, went to Vicious, and then he kind of bounced around for a little bit. I thought he found a home with Infamous, but I think his injuries really bothered him. And then now with them and him being back with his boys, he shines in my eyes for sure.
Yeah.
Love that. All right. One of your toughest opponents of all time, or
shitting me? You're fucking looking at him. No. I mean, as far as the team goes, or what?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with the team.
I'll say this: Dynasty was definitely back and forth a lot with Houston Heat, which I thought was great. I mean, the Russians, one year they had their fair share with us, and then we got them at the World Cup, but they beat the piss out of us all year long. That's who our biggest team, our rival was ever because obviously we took the heart of Russia out of them. So for us to play them and back and forth throughout the years. So I'll say Dynasty, Russians. And I'll go with those. Those guys.
No, top tier right there. All right, let's dive into the PTG World Discord. If you haven't checked it out yet, head over to ptgpodcast.com and click that orange Patreon link. Join us in there. We've got a bunch of people sounding off. March, do you have one?
I do. Yeah. CB2K Mackerline Gang wants to know, what do you think attributes to Heat's lack of success following the double World Cup wins of 18 and 19?
Those were Band-Aids. We won a lot. We won those World Cups, but we got our shit kicked in all year. But at the same time, he didn't stop. And I think that's just how paintball is. Each year we came off years where we didn't make adjustments. This year we had to make adjustments as far as Houston Heat goes. And the biggest thing too is, if you don't make enough adjustments, then, you have teams created like what you guys have right now. You guys have something special with Impact. I think Dave did a great job by going out, getting the right players that he needed to fill the gap. Taking second place at World Cup fucking sucks. But at the same time, you put the right guys together and it makes it all work. And I think that's a top tier team that you guys are like with right now. And if you don't make adjustments, the game will pass you by. We didn't make adjustments for a long time. That could have hurt, right? But at the same time, Randy's loyal with things. He can win any tournament and go buy everybody he wants, but at the same time, he wanted to do it with people that he loves. So I respect that too. So, And then, switching coaches out a lot doesn't help. So you have to relearn the players and everything else, and everybody's got to buy in, right? It's one chief and the rest are Indians. That hurts. So, there's that. And then, you son of a bitch.
His YouTube is attacking him, dude.
Dude, it's crazy.
The screen keeps going.
I don't know what it is. It's like the first time it's ever done that. So.
No, and you're right. Yeah. It's an ever evolving thing that has to be, it's meticulous, and it's a juggling act, really. It's very difficult. The whole thing.
Did it come back?
No, but we got your audio. There you are.
Back. It's back. Video's back. Video's back.
I don't know how much time I got. We're gonna make it happen. Let it fly.
Right. We got Dilly Kills. He's wondering, how did you get the name? How did you get that name?
If you ever watched Sandlot as a kid, I watched it a lot, and I looked just like little Yaya in the movie.
Yeah.
And people walk up to my parents in the store and they'd ask me if I was from the movie.
No way.
Yeah. So and I talk really fast like him, and do other just saying Yaya a lot and everything else, and just kind of stuck with me and got the name from a guy named CJ Maui as a kid. And I thought at first I hated it, and then it stuck, and then that's just who I was.
If you haven't seen Sandlot, do yourself a favor, go watch that immediately.
Yeah, you're not going to play pro paintball if you haven't seen Sandlot.
Yeah, really. Seriously, it's like a ragtag crew, and that's like what paintball is all about right there. Sandlot life.
Iconic. All right, Breath wants to know, hi, Chad. What's your favorite memory with Tyler and the Heat squad?
Winning Philly, but me and Tyler had a lot of good memories. It was a lot of fun, right? And, me, Tyler, and Ronnie, we would be at moments where we would just be laughing I don't even know why we were laughing so hard, but there'd be so many moments like that. And, it's just, the best moment on the field was winning, and getting the opportunity to share the field with Tyler was amazing. In my eyes, Ty, and I've said to many people before, is like one of the best teammates, and like truly, truly cannot replace or think about like how, like everything you've done on and off the field and the sacrifice you've made to be where you are. I just respected it and loved every moment with being on the field with you. So,
Right back
you know how
at
to
you,
turn it
bro.
on and you know how to turn it off. So it worked out.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, we had some great times, man. We'd be crying, laughing so hard.
For no reason.
Yeah.
They run in your room, pull your blankets down.
Oh man. That's what it's all about, man. Paintball, we're so blessed to have this game and the amazing people that, have helped us all in this game. So shout out to everybody that makes these types of things happen. From top to bottom, all the teams, all the players, everybody that goes to bat, ownership, the league, everybody. Without us all coming together and all believing in this game, we don't have these kinds of moments, and be able to even have the moments that we're working hard for, like in Dallas this last weekend, to try to build something for TV and build something for the world to see this game.
100%.
Yeah, man. All right, we got, let's see. I think I saw Meter. Here he is.
Meter's in there?
Yeah, Meter's in here.
in there, bro.
Meter's got swag, dude. I like that guy.
Yeah. You already know. Yeah, there's tons. We got a bunch of pros in here. If you are pro as well and you want to join us, send us a message. We'll get you in here for free. We want everybody to enjoy the paintball experience. And I think we have the tiers set at like $1.99, so we make it very manageable. If you want to join,
pay the money
and have some fun. It's not something that's going to break the bank as well, and that's per month. So I think people spend a lot more than that a month on way dumber stuff. So we got. Oh, he's gone. He's gone again. His camera keeps blacking out. All right, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, we got Meter. Yeah. Would you consider being a Go Sports announcer until you're ready to get back in the mix?
Yeah, I would love that. I think that the biggest thing that I could do is go back and, it's kind of like, when you said with Romo, like Romo got shit on as a player. He was a great player, but the way he sees the game and how he announces it, I think Maddie does a great job with it. But at the same time, I think that would be, it'd truly be amazing to even have that opportunity to sit next to him and do that.
You guys would be a great combo, dude. I would love to see that. That would be good for the game.
A few cocktails and we're ready just to let it fly. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking some real paintball talk. So no, I've had a lot of conversations with Maddie and I truly respect and love everything he's done for the game. So to sit up in the box with him, I think would be, it would be amazing. So I would really like to do that. Call me, Maddie. You know my name.
Hey.
Yeah, we need to make that happen. All right. My last question is from Joshua 1776. What was the first marker you owned and would you use it today?
PMI Piranha.
It was a Piranha.
Yeah, it's a PMI Piranha. It was had a vertical tank in it, and then I thought the upgrade with the expansion chamber was like the move. Yeah, that was my first gun I ever had, and then
you would not use it today.
I mean, I don't even know if it would work. Like CO2 and everything else, and man, it was crazy.
Hey, tell the people that don't know about CO2 how cold that is when you're playing paintball. People just don't know.
Being 12 years old on the 20 ounce that has we didn't have tank covers. We just had like a freezing cold tank that you couldn't hold. So probably drop more of those than anything else. So.
Yeah, it's a different day. Different day.
Kids don't know these days.
Well, yeah, we love you, man, and thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Once again, do we want to give you your flowers and just tell you how appreciative we are of you and everything that you did in this game, bro?
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for having me on. Shout out to, Houston Heat for everything they've done, Mama D and Sarge. You guys doing this for paintball, it truly is, it's inspirational and it's great for paintball and more people need to do it. So,
well, now that you have more time on your hands, you could be a third panelist over here, bro.
No, yeah.
He's busy.
That's something that me and Ronnie, we looked at a few times. Maybe I won't have camera difficulties when I do that. Cause I that's somebody I love sitting and talking with is Ronnie. We sit all the time and talk on the phone. So, so we'll see what we can come up with. But at the same time, I got a job and a focus and, want to help a company from where they're at right now to continue to grow and break some walls down. So I'm excited about it.
Love it,
Keep
brother. Well,
kicking ass, man.
you always have a seat here at PTG. And yeah, we appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Ronnie, dude, I got a corgi. I got to go.
Oh, is Ronnie in here?
No, but I know he's listening.
He'll be in there. So.
Yeah.
What'd you name your corgi?
We named her Honey. She's a beautiful little honey girl. That's my little baby. Yeah, she's a girl.
Honey, quit pulling your sister's hair. Got it.
Yeah, straight up. Max is like, the first thing Max said is, "Can I wrestle her?" I'm like, "No, Max, it's a baby. You can't wrestle this baby dog. He's wild."
Funny.
That's my boy.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, you guys have a good day. Yeah. We'll see you. You're going to be at Tampa, right? You're going to be out there.
That is the plan right now. Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see you in just a few weeks.
100%.
All right, bro.
Awesome, guys. Later, boys.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to the show. We appreciate your support more than you know. As you guys heard about midway through the episode, if you guys would like to support PTG in any way, you could head over to ptgpaintball.com. You could click the orange Patreon link and sign up at any level and get access to our Discord. The Discord is one of the most phenomenal communities in the game of paintball. We have so many different channels in there. It's great for learning. It's great for connecting, finding teams, selling equipment, whatever it is you want to do in there. We truly have it all. And we hope to see you in there. So again, head over to ptgpaintball.com, click the orange Patreon link, and we will see you in there.